Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
In this session, we are going to talk about some of the advanced topics of our Pega CSA, which is the activity, what an activity is, how to create activity, and what are the different places where we can use the activity logic. After that, we are going to talk about the integration. Mainly, integration in Pega is divided into two parts, like we have the connectors and then we have the services. A kind of a basic definition is connector means when we connect to a third-party system to get the data, where third-party system will be the service providers and our Pega application is going to be the consumer. In those situations, we will use a connector integration. Other type is the service integration, where Pega application itself will work as a service provider and third-party system will work as a consumer. That means we are going to expose the API along with the usage detail to them and they will connect to our system and send the request and we will provide the data in terms of response. This is the basic difference between the connector and the integration. After that, we will also talk about tracer, how to see the tracer is. And the last one is operator, ID creation. Let's jump on to the Dev Studio. We can directly start with operator ID creation. Let me go to operator, or we can also go from records organization operator ID. These are the existing IDs that we have in. Let's say, go for this one. This is a basic operator ID template where you can see this is the actual ID through which we have to log in into the Pega application. This is the rule set where this particular operator ID is stored. Then we have the contact information. We can attach a profile, then the title, first name, last name, administrator, like it's out of the box operator ID. That's why it is coming as an administrator, but I have to rename. Let's get. It also give only a short. This is the access group which we have to provide that this particular operator ID can access that application or the corresponding case types. For example, currently the operator ID is pointing to PRPC administrator. That means it will access the out-of-the-box application. But if you want to switch, we can add something. Example, add claims author, because the claims is a different application which we have created for us. I'll change the default access to claims. In the Work tab, the current organization is Pega Administration and Installation. But we have created a separate organization. That's part of our claims application, which is MyOrg. Then we have division. Then we have Clanet. Then we have an option to select that teams. For example, if you have a reviewer team, if you have approval team, if there is a finance team with the HR team, those teams need to be created in Pega, and that correspondingly you can tag it to your profile. Basically to which team you belong. After that, it's a reporting structure. We have to select the reporting manager for that particular user. Hey, I'm keeping this empty for now. Then we have the skills. For example, we have different skill level, right? There is a joinee, then we have the senior, then we have lead manager. These are kind of different skill levels. The higher the skill level, higher will be the complexity. Then we have the work queue option. Work queuing. It is a kind of a basket there. All the tasks related to a particular thing will be placed that any individual who have access to this work basket can pick up as per the priority and complete it. For example, once the claim is raised by the end user, all the claims will go to a work basket. That is a claims work basket. Now 10 different employees have access to that work basket, and they can any case from that and start working on it for the resolution. This is how work basket works. Till the time no one is picking the case from that, it will stay in the work basket. But once any user will pick the case, it will be moved to work list instead of work basket. That means I already opened the case. That means now I am responsible for the completion of it, and no other individual can open that one. We can do it through this. We can add, we can select. These are some default work basket available in Pega. And anyways, work queue and work basket both are same. It's just different terminologies that we used to use in day-to-day life. Now, then we have get from work queue first. If we check this box, then you won't be able to select the individual task. That means you can't priority the task like which one you can pick. That means Pega AI will automatically give you any task as per the timeline or any property which is there. Then we have an option for use all work queue assignment in user team. That means all the user team assignment will be available inside that work queue. Then we have merge work queues. That means if you enable multiple work queues here, suppose I add 4 work queues. In your list, all the cases will come irrespective of your work queue. Basically, we are merging the work queues. I'll delete these things not required for now. Then we have the availability tab. As you can see, availability as in once the user is on leave. This doesn't mean that the work will stop. Right. Suppose I'm going on leave. That means I'll mark my calendar here. That which calendar I'm following. Is it used default, or if there is something new, we can create our own calendar. That's completely fine. Then I have to give the scheduled absence. I'm not available from a date. When I'm available, there is a substitute operator. That means there will be a different operator or my replacement who is going to do my work in this particular timeline, or else I can assign my all the work directly to a work queue that my teammates will pick up from there and work will not be affected. Then we have the decision tree. This is an awesome because I'm not available. And if there is a kind of a task which requires a manager intervention, right? As per the different complexity, you might have different approachable people. The decision table or the decision tree, we can configure that. For example, if the purchase order is above $1,000, then send the approval to person A. If the purchase order is above 10 salanzit, then send the purchase order to B. If it is above 50,000, then route to the manager. Those things we can configure directly. It just as of now you can see operator is available to receive work. If I select this, that means now I'm available to receive the work. If you talk about the business calendar, let's open it once. This is how the business calendar is configured. It's a US default which is based out of America and New York time zone. Then calendar locate, which is not mandatory. Then we have Sunday to Saturday. You can mark what are the business days, at what time you start your day, at what time you end your day, basically in the particular organization. This particular rule is across the application. It does not depend on the individual. It will be across the organization. If there is any leaves, you can add here. This is how we create a calendar. This belongs to the organization category in the regard list. Then let's go to the security. In security, we have an option for update password. That means we can give our default password. This will be for the first time that they can at least log in. Now we have other option is this is an unattended operator robot. For example, if the Pega is integrated with Pega RPA, that is a robotic Pega automation, the robotic process automation. There are situations when in a Pega application there are RP, the bots which are creating cases, right? Those are not the actual users. They might not have the actual operator ID. They might not have the work use or the functionality is completely different. In those situations, we used to select this checkbox when the operator we are creating is for the robot. Then for allow checkout, that means individual can check out the rule, make the changes and then check in the rule and save it to the rule set. This is what allow checkout rule means. External authentication means if you see when I'm selecting one option is coming, use external authentication. We have one more option, force password change to next login. If I select, then that is going on. That means authentication will be happen completely externally outside the application. But if it is not selected, that means you can force the user to change password on next login. For example, I changed just now. I updated a random password for the user, just temporary one. But if I want that, once the user log in with that password, he or she should change that password first. But then we have to go for this one. Now, if you want to disable the operator ID, suppose that particular person leaves the organization or not available 6 months or change the department, something like that, then we can disable the operator ID in the meantime. Then we have one option, starting activity to execute. That means when the user login, by the time he click on that login button, this activity will be executed. What is activity will do? This activity will basically populate the portal, the dashboards, and whatever is shown to the user for the first time. License type, this you can ignore. Now let's save. I guess this one I need to save as. Now we can save. Let's assign one rule set. Let's sign the claims. Let's save. Let's try to log in with this operator. I'll copy this. Now we logged into the claims application directly because claims is the access group which we have provided for this user ID. Now let's create one. Case type is already there. Now let's jump on to the activities. What exactly your activity is? First is activity belongs to the technical category of our Vega. If you go to the records and technical, then you will find the activity. These are the out-of-the-box activity which Vega provides, which serves different purposes with different functionality. For example, to convert the CSV result, we have this activity peaks upload CSV results. If you want to export some data records, then one activity is there, that is peaks export data records. If you want to display the attached files, then we have one activity that is displayed attached file. Let me create one activity. Let's get activity. Or we can create this activity inside our claims class that we can test it directly. I'll right click on this brief icon. Go to create technical and technical an activity. The class will be of that particular case type. I'll give like test activity. Be it an open. This is our default, kind of an record form. which will be initiated when you create the activity for the first time. At the top, you can see it is activity rule. Activity type is there and test activity. We call it activity and it is available rule. This we checked in the yesterday session. And once the rule is available, it will be executed in the rule resolution process. But if I make it not available, this particular rule will be skipped and it will try to check if the previous person exists or not. After that, we have the class where this particular activity is created. Then the activity ID, then the rule set. Now activity has these steps, out of which only 4 are required. For example, we have steps, then we have parameters, pages and classes and security. Suppose let me create one case. I'll go here, create claims workflow. First is claims workflow. Then we have a description. I'll create next. One second. I think it doesn't have any view defined. What about receive claim? Receive claim has two things. Validate claim has nothing. If we create one case, create claims workflow, only two fields are there, that is the claims workflow and description. If we see this in the clipboard, description. The pie description is there, but it is empty. But if I come to this case, if I feel something, if I go back to clipboard, if I try to refresh it, let's see. It's still not that it will. Data is not safe. Let's click on next. You can see pie description is there. This one the description of data. Now suppose same thing we have to do with an activity. What we can do is, we can do a property. Basically activities, automation and different rule where you can give the different steps. All these steps will be executed in a series to perform and to get out. Suppose I am doing a property set here. What's this property set will do? This loading. Property name is pie description. Pie description. I'll set this description is coming from an activity. This I have added. Now, in order to execute this one, we have to configure it somewhere that once we create the case, this particular activity is executed and pie description will be updated with this message. Let's go to games workflow. Let's suppose we'll add it here. Open process. I'll go to. This is the create I'll go to. Let's say this one. Second ship. I'll get control action. Second. And also I'll say test. Second. I'll keep one property here. No, I. Next input. Let's open this text input. We will use the same property, that is P by description. Now I'll save it. Now section is saved. Let it say properly. Let's go to fraction. Let's go to flow and select the same flow action and submit this too. Now all these things are in sync. Let's go back to that main workflow and save this too. It is given record as tail. Let's do action. Refresh. Save and run. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.